jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, salute to the hottest channel in MF and game. You already know what it is. WCS back with another one. 2025, the boxing scene is all the way live. A lot popping off this year. You just got to stay tuned. You got to stay within reach. You got to find your range and bob and move, because we got a lot of hitters. We have a lot of hitters this year that's going down. You understand? Today I want to touch bases on again, off again, reoccurring, back and forth verbal sparring between a former great Hall of Famer, Layla Ali, the daughter of the great Muhammad Ali, two-division champion, multi-time world champion. You know what I'm saying? She recently was on All the Smoke with Andre Ward. All the Smoke fight with Andre Ward. And of course, I would say 95% of the interview was just pretty much what she has going on currently in her life. Okay. It was a very, go check that interview out. Matter of fact, let me do you one better. Shout out to Dre. Go check that interview out, man. I liked it. I'm going to drop this link in the chat so you all can check that interview out that he did with Layla Ali. Okay? Shout out to MKB, Mother King Boxing on deck, first in the building. What's good, OG? What's good with your mind? How you feeling, bro? Appreciate you dropping through as always, supporting. So, he did an interview with Layla Ali. And I would say 95%, in my opinion, the interview was off what she has currently ongoing with her business ventures, just everyday life, her personal life. They show how she's growing her own vegetables. She's always been a health fanatic. She's a health junkie for real. I mean, growing her own stuff, has fruit trees. She's cultivating, vegetables on her own garden. She says she takes care of it, and they look good, to be honest. Broccoli was in that joint, and you can tell by her skin and how fit she is at her age. She's doing what she's supposed to do. But I must switch it over. This is not about how healthy she's living. It's about her connection with the one and only Claressa Shields. But before I move on, let me give you a little breakdown. Layla Ali been out the ring for like 17 years, I believe. Her record as it stands today is 24 victories, opposite 0 defeats, 0 draws, hosted by 21 knockouts. Her last fight was against Gwendolyn O'Neal, February 3rd, 2007. All right. Claressa Shields, she's still active, young, 29 years of age, 15 fights on victory, 0 defeats, 0 draws, 3 knockouts. So therefore, it has always been like, on again, these two mention each other's name. It used to be a point in time where we can say they was on cordial type of energy. You know what I'm saying? Communication was healthy back then. You're talking about two fighters, women who are great during their era. During Layla Ali's era, of course, people are going to say, well, the competition was what it was for Ali to fight who she fought. And then also they will always highlight and put her name in the constellation when it comes to her father. Now, you can't blame Ali for that. You can't blame him for that. He did what he's supposed to do. And also, you know, that's his daughter. That's his fam. So, you know, when she once upon a time broke the news to Pops, hey, I want a box, it's not something, you know, Muhammad put her in. He didn't encourage her to become a boxer. She wanted to do it herself because she used to get into fights all the time. You know what I'm saying? Layla was out there getting in trouble in school, shoplifting, doing a whole lot of stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people think she was just a very focused young lady back in the day under the lineage, you know what I'm saying, the DNA lineage of her father, but that just wasn't the case. As you see, Carissa Shields from Flint, Michigan, you know what I'm saying, Flint, Michigan, we all know there's no playground over there. It's no playground over there in Flint, Michigan. You know, Carissa has definitely changed since, you know, we knew her from the Flint, Michigan days. For real. She's definitely changed. I mean, look at this older picture. Carissa has absolutely changed. She's grown up. 2-time gold medal champion, Olympian, multi-divisions unified. You know what I'm saying? The first male, you know, the first to do it, male or female, and how she was able to go out there and unify in 3 divisions. She has her accolades and everything. But at the end of the day, we live in a society where a lot of this stuff is placed out for public viewing. Social media has absolutely just diluted everything that we know. We can't expect human beings to make the right decision when they're reading all this information. They're listening to this information. It's hard to get these humans to say, let me do a little bit more research and dig a little deeper as to why this is going on the way it's going on. Why did so-and-so say what they say? A lot of them are just surfing. They have no problem with just surfing. As long as they stay above water, and everything that's above water, they're good with. They don't want to like snorkel just a little bit and go down in the aquatics and do a little bit more research on information. It's been said for quite some time, the back and forth between Layla Ali and Carissa Shields. You know, both of them have their own barometer of ego. You know what I'm saying? Many have called both of them a bit, you know, chauvinistic, narcissists. You know what I'm saying? It comes with women fighters who's at the top of their tier when it comes to the full contact sport. But I don't want to talk you until I don't want to talk too much to lead up to this. I want you to listen to the audio that basically prompted Carissa Shields to respond to Layla Ali. And I watched the whole entire video. And like I said, 95% of the video was very interesting, speaking about other collateral duties and activities and ventures that Layla Ali has. But of course, Andre Ward waited to the end. You know what I'm saying? He waited to the end to mention the beef between Ali and Shields. So let's take a listen, okay? Let's take a listen.
He's had a heart for the younger generation. And you do a lot that people don't see. You have conversations that people are unaware of. And I'm asking because I love seeing the older generation connect with the younger generation. I hate, and I'm gonna use that word, I hate when I see the disconnect between generations. The older generation, they hate and they don't understand. It's like, bro, I done been where you going. Mm-hmm. I don't like when the older generation are so disconnected from the younger generation that they just don't even try. But it is tricky because it's 2 different eras, 2 different mindsets. You and Clarissa Shields, and I talked to her yesterday and kind of got an idea of what her perspective of the situation happened. But man, y'all seem to have started off good and then something went awry. What happened with you and Clarissa?
You know, I think that, like you said, I'm somebody that is open to being connected in terms of giving people advice when they come to me for it. Clarissa was one of those people who reached out to me when I think it was after she won the Olympics the first time. I commentated the Olympics. I was aware of who she was.
Okay.
She reached out to me somehow and asked me advice about should she go to the Olympics again? Should she go pro? And I remember telling her, like, there ain't nothing in 168. You know what I'm saying? Like, she told me she was doing good in school. I asked her about herself. She was really smart. You know, I said, I would do the Olympics again, and then I would go to school and do something else. Like, I'm thinking she's going to use the Olympics and catapult into something else. You know what I'm saying? But because I was like, at 168, there's nothing.
In the pros.
In the pros, I said, you ain't going to make no real money there. I said, but if you do go pro, go down.
So you trying to tell me Layla Ali was the voice of reason prior to Clarissa believing to turn pro? You trying to tell me Layla Ali has some advice that Clarissa took back in the day? Because she actually told her there's nothing up at 168 for you. There's no money there. And that's what I'm talking about. I mean, she's an OG at the end of the day. You know, Layla Ali back then. You trying to tell me she was a driving force in Clarissa Shields making that decision to take a second tour in the Olympics and then turn pro after that? That's very interesting when it comes to the advanced knowledge of why someone made a decision when they did. That's what I'm talking about, man. This needs to go out there to the public. Layla Ali provided her insight to Clarissa Shields, a youngin' in the game on the come up, and say, hey, it ain't no money up there.
I had a lengthy conversation about that because you go down to like 58, 47, because I'm looking at her. And I told her, I said, you can do it. If you diet down, if you get a nutritionist, I'm looking at your body. I said, because when I was 168, I was a lean 168. I couldn't get any smaller. I'm 200 pounds right now, Andre. So I'm saying I'm a big girl. People don't realize, like, physically, I got big hands, I got big feet. I'm big. So I was telling her, you're not big like me, so you can come down. So that was
Ali, I don't know. See, one thing about Ali, man, she wears her ego all over. It's like she's standing in the rain, bro. For real. When she talks, I've heard her talk in person, I've seen her in person, and I've heard her talk from afar. She wears her ego like it's dripping off of her. The little things that you need to pay attention to. I can understand why Clarissa is responding the way she responded, because you know, just the way she said she's 200 now, and she told Clarissa, if you get a diet, you can get down in weight. Depending on the maturity level of the recipient that's supposed to be listening, all right, to you reciprocate this information, then it depends on how they're going to process it and then what they have to say once regurgitated. The retransmission is what's the problem. You know what I'm saying? How someone look, I never wanted to get so deep in, you know, social media and be on it the way I am when I was on Facebook, because I just knew from coming from a military setting to civilian, and how, you know, these individuals just believe anything. They just believe anything you tell them. They really, their perception thermometer is just on a whole nother level. Like they always running a fever when it comes to you thinking they're going to believe something that's common sense, bro. Just common sense. But you can tell Layla Ali wears her shit on all over, like it's dripping, like she's perspiring.
That was my advice to her. And then we stayed in touch. You know, she would hit me before her fights. And I just remember going and promoting a cookbook and my cookbook and going on the Breakfast Club. And you asked me what happened.
I remember that.
And they asked me about Clarissa, like they asked me about women's boxing. I said nice things about her, like I always did. And then they ended up asking me, would I ever come back? And I said, there's no reason to. I said, I don't see anybody there that inspires me to want to come back. I was like,
so this is where it really starts to gas once again. This is where when you out there camping and you have that flint and you out there trying to start a fire, you know what I'm saying? This is that little flint, the little sparks of the flint to try to get that fire started. what she just said. No one inspired. She wasn't inspired, y'all, to return back to the sport. Come on, man. At that time, Carissa was doing her thing. Nobody inspired her. You know, Clarissa ears perked up. The antennas was out, shouty. Clarissa, her head was turned around like an owl. You know, an owl's eyes are too big. So that's why, you know, they got to move their whole head. So it's because their eyes can't really rotate around and look. So they got to move their whole head. That's how Carissa was when she heard this news. She's like, huh? Huh? What? You know, yeah, huh? It ain't nobody, it ain't no woman here to inspire you. Then what the hell I'm doing? What is this I'm doing? I should inspire you. I'm doing what you haven't been able to do.
There's so much I would have to stop doing, you know, that I would have to do. So I guess, well, I know that she heard that and took offense to it. And then next thing I know, she's on YouTube saying Layla Ali was on, you know, she said it out of her own mouth. Like she heard me say there was nobody that she was inspired by that she felt could give her competition. I feel some kind of way. So then she started calling me out and I was like, wow.
So I know you can't see the vid. You know, shout out to All the Smoke Fight. This is their audio, Andre Ward. You know, great interviews that he's been given. I just want to shout them out and make sure I do my professional due diligence. You know what I'm saying? The art of Ward. As Layla was just speaking, you know, she was talking with her hands a lot. You know what I'm saying? She's a dominant woman. I don't consider, you know, calling women alphas all the time because in order for you to be an alpha woman, you have to be somewhat on the level of a man. I'm just saying, somewhat on the level of a man, and it's only convenient sometimes that women choose to be on the level of a man when it comes to an argument. But if you need to go out here and do some physical labor, then it's different. I know some cats have been drawn in and say, okay, so and so's an alpha. Layla Ali, right? And she's definitely a dominant female. And though I'm not criticizing her for being that, because of who her father was, who she grew into as a woman. But man, you know, there were a lot of provoking angles that she was taking, and she know that Carissa wasn't gonna slip and move, or she wasn't gonna take him on the chin and just be quiet. You know, especially when you say it was no one that inspired you to come back. I mean, come on, somebody had to inspire you to come back if the money was right. You said, give me $5 million because I've been out the ring. So $5 million, somebody would have, you know, dropped the bag in escrow, and $5 million would have been it and say, hey, Shields Ali is going down. Ali has been on record as saying, in order for me to remove myself from my daily living, because I have a lot of entrepreneur business that I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of businesses that I'm attending to right now. In order for me to remove myself from that, get into fight camp after all these years, the money has to be worth it. That's what she said.
So first thing I thought, because I'm the type of person, I would just pick up the phone. Like you would think she'd pick up the phone, but I know this newer generation, like you said, is different. But now you took it public, and she was always the one calling me anyway. So I wasn't about to call her and say, hey, what's going on? I was just like, okay, that's where she decided to go with it. So then, of course, now, you know, the public is, they're going to exasperate it.
They're going to spin it.
Exasperated means, you know, advancing it in a way that sarcasm and exaggeration, to bloviate, exacerbate, to go over the top. You know what I'm saying, with it. They're going to blow it up in so many words.
And then the next time I do another interview, at that point, she had already, you know, talked about me, and she started putting stuff on her social media page. She ain't never fought nobody. She ain't never, you know, she basically was trying to degrade my legacy and everything that I had done. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, that you crossing a line now.
See, right now, y'all can't see it, but I'm going to show you the expression on Layla Ali's face so you can kind of get an understanding and grasp who she is as a person. Because when she mentioned Carissa Shields basically degrading or lowering the value of her greatness, a Hall of Famer now, she wanted to make it a point that the people know. So you can tell inside it still eats her up. Look at this right here. Let me take this down right quick. Look at this. Look at her expression. Let me enlarge that. All right. Let me bring it over here. Look at those expression lines in the top of her head. You know what I'm saying? Look at her expressions overall. It still irks her to this day. For real, it still irks her to this day, yo. I'm just being honest. It still irks the crap out of her, man. Let's keep it bumping.
You can think you can beat me.
I see the look in your eyes. I see you going there.
I'm just saying, you can think that.
Right.
That's fine. You're supposed to think that.
Yeah, of course.
But to start going in on my legacy and what I have and haven't done and all these things, I was like, wow, that's a lot, you know? So that's kind of what happened. I think that fans don't like it because fans are like, man, we love both of y'all. You know, why does it have to be this way? So again, that's pretty much how it happened. And that for me is like, there's just certain things that are not okay with me. It's hard to come back from. And again, I don't have any hard feelings against Clarissa in general, because I got a lot going on over here. You already know. Yep. To be worried about any of these young girls.
See how she be taking them jabs. She said, I got a lot going on over here to be worried about these youngins that keep my name in their mouth, to hold me down in their conversation. I'm not even thinking about it. Like earlier, she said, Carissa used to call me. I wasn't calling her. Even though I had a number, I wasn't calling her like that. You know, that wasn't my friend. You know what I'm saying? She's saying, I got so much going on. My load is heavy over here, Shawty. I'm telling you what it is. I have a heavy payload when it comes to my business and what my entrepreneurship demands of me every day, God damn it. She be taking them jabs, boys. I'm serious. I mean, they be to the kidney, back of the head. Seriously, bro. Stepping on your feet. That's Layla. Layla be punching through the guard.
Like that. But at the same time, I see that she gets into it with a lot of people. She gets into it with a lot of female fighters. She gets into it with male fighters. So obviously that's a thing for her. Hopefully she'll figure that out, because you're not going to get very far in this life if you continue burning bridges.
That is. And that, my friends, is where Claressa Shields had a problem in its entirety of this interview, because I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that was dropping links and say, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. You know, these motherfucking tattletellers. For real, they tattletellers, man, aka snitches. They love dropping links and say, hey man, you know, we gave you the time stamp. We dropped that code down there. That time code. Layla Ali said, you're burning bridges. To me and you, it may not be something, you know, that say, oh man, that was huge. I mean, that wasn't huge. I'm just saying that was very degrading, abrasive, burning bridges. She's just speaking to a point where if you continue to act the way you act and you're growing up, you're only 29 years old and you're growing up, you may potentially need some of these individuals you burning bridges with to work with you later on once you start to get older and mature. And I look, I agree with that. I mean, it's not like these individuals are not known in the U.S. Both of them are known in the U.S., okay? When it gets to that point when Shields decides to hang it up, depending on what her journey has been like and other collective investments or business ventures she's participated in when she was active, that may be what Layla Ali is talking about, burning bridges with people that you may potentially need to do some business with, you know, for whatever your brand consists of, or anything that you say, I wanna put this in my to-do list. Yes, I'm really interested in investing money over here, over there. But yeah, she be hitting behind the head.
And even though she's not someone that I consider a friend, hopefully that's some advice that she would like that. But at the same time, I see that she gets into it with a lot of people. She gets into it with a lot of female fighters. She gets into it with male fighters. So obviously that's a thing for her. Hopefully she'll figure that out, because you're not going to get very far in this life if you continue burning bridges. And even though she's not someone that I consider a friend, hopefully that's some advice that she would take, because you're going to see a lot of people surpass you. Even though you're talented, even though you can say, oh, I won all these belts and I went to the Olympics, I did X, Y, and Z. So never think too big of yourself, right? Because there's always going to be somebody. You got to really watch your character. You got to stay humble. And, you know, hopefully you don't burn so many bridges along the way, you don't come back from it, because you want to use these opportunities right now when you have it. It's great that you're doing all these things.
I understand where later you want to use it as a catalyst. You want to be smart about it, but sometimes, you know, people who are so invested what people say about them, they don't care, man. You know, depending on what their background, where they from, what their circle look like. You got to ask yourself, how would Clarissa Shields act if her pops was Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali was from Flint, Michigan? I know that's a very broad, god damn, that's a broad freaking poor analogy. But you know, you say it ain't no way Layla Ali would be from Flint, Michigan. Not looking like that. You know, I mean, it's some people that can't switch it up, flip flop it. Because I'm pretty sure some things that she learned, Layla, being around the family that she was around and what she had to go through, and having a prominent world figure as her father, Vice Shields, not having that support group. They say it take a village to raise, but you know, your village have to be consisted of people who's willing to work and raise you in the way you should be. You know what I'm saying? However that should be. However that is, everybody's shit is different. But for these two women, I know Carissa is latching on to what she said about burning bridges. I mean, she's gonna latch on to a lot of things that Layla Ali said in the past couple of seconds, and we're gonna listen to what Shields' response was to Ali.
And you want to be a role model to those coming behind you.
Of course.
And you want the fans to like you. You want to be a likable person. You know, I know there's a movie coming out on her, which is great. She's been through so much.
Yeah.
You know, but guess what? A lot of us have.
Layla Ali is man, boy. She's a narcissist. I don't have no problem with Layla Ali. It's just funny because I listen, and I just, you know, how I receive certain language. I mean, she's obviously taking shots. She's saying she has a movie coming out, and she congratulates. She's like, oh, and that's great. You know, she's been through a lot, but a lot of us have. She just couldn't say, you know, she's been through a lot and leave it like that. She's just pretty much watering it down and saying, yeah, she's been through a lot, but a lot of us have. So we can move on from that. You know, hey man, take it how you take it, because Layla Ali is absolutely, I mean, she's stretching. She's going through the warm up, boy. She's goddamn shadow boxing the shit out this interview.
So it's no excuse. We need to do better. And to me, it's really important. It's really important how I carry myself. It's really important how I represent myself, how I represent women, how I represent Black women, how I represent fighters, how I represent my father, how I represent myself, how I'm a woman, a mother, a wife. I don't have time to be over here going back and forth with somebody over no BS. So, you know, like I was hesitant to even talk to you about it because we already know people grab onto that. You know what I'm saying? This isn't about who can win, who can fight. You know, Clarissa knows I offered her sparring. She knows. She knows she didn't want to spar with me.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear, because I only listened to a portion of Carissa Shields' response, but I know she's gonna have something to say about being off at sparring. And once again, let me let you check out Layla Ali's expression, okay? I just want you to see how Miss Ali look. Look at this expression. She said, "Hey, she know I offer her sparring." Look at that. That look is like, don't play boo boo the fool with me. I offered you sparring back then, and you didn't take it. Look at that look. I'm just telling you, man. Boy, Layla Ali been shadow boxing the whole time on this back end of this interview when it came to Shields. Everything else, she was just up there stretching and warming up. You know what I'm saying? But then she just started moving her head and getting back into the rhythm and say, shit, let me get my goddamn jab working. Let me get this stick active. You know what I'm saying? Let me work this to the body a little bit. Let me work on my 1-2.
That would have been the moment to whoop me. That would have been the moment, because we know we would have had our social media.
Yeah.
That would have been your moment to do your thing. So we don't want to hear nothing else about it now. No more. You know, because there's so many more opportunities out there, you know, but you just got to go about them the right way.
Is there a way back for y'all?
At TJ Maxx.
Is it a way back for y'all? Good question there, Dre.
I can't be a negative person and ever say that there's not a way back. You never want to have an enemy, especially someone in the sport, especially two people can have an impact. There's so many people who can relate to Clarissa, her story, where she came from, that can never relate to me. So whoever it is that you can relate to, that can inspire you, that's wonderful, that's great. But like I said, it's really hard to come back from someone trying to diminish your legacy. And, you know, it's not going to just happen by just, you know, squashing it. Like if you felt some kind of way that hurt your feelings or hurt you deeply, and you want to, you know, come back to me and talk it through, then I'm gonna have to know where you were coming from. It definitely ain't gonna just be like, we just gonna forget about it. I'm not saying someone has to be like, sorry, Layla, but come on. You know, this all started because of an interview. You heard me say something and you assume I'm jealous of you. It's like, you know, you gotta take the blinders off.
Well, I'm hoping that one day y'all can have a meeting of the minds and have a conversation, because y'all have different upbringings and lifestyles, but y'all got some overlap too. Y'all both have had troublesome times. Y'all had to fight through some things, different roads, but trouble, and it needed to be a lot of perseverance along the way.
And so have you.
Yes.
So that means nothing to me, Andre.
God damn. Hey, Layla ain't nothing to play with, man. You know what woman? Hey, look! I gotta show you the expression. Look at her expression. First of all, let's identify her sleeves rolled up. She did, and just in case Andre Ward got out of hand, she has a sweater on, and the sleeves are above the elbow. Just for your attention, okay? Look, I'm talking about attention to detail. What woman you know that comes in there with her sleeves rolled up over her elbow? Okay, now. And she says, so do you, Andre. She leaned her head forward to say, so do you. Yeah, let's not forget that. So do you. That don't mean nothing to me. Ugh. Layla ain't playing. Layla ain't playing. Float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. You better know who house you in if you came to F with me. That's what Layla Ali said to Andre right then. Ugh.
What
but
you just said. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying
saying
as an excuse.
I can relate
I'm saying
to so many different people on that level. So that's not. But I got where you were trying.
But I'm saying,
you trying to be Dr. Phil here? No.
Dr. Dre. But no, this is how my mind.
I'm let you have your moment. I'm sorry.
Let me have my moment.
Yes.
So I'm gonna hold out hope, because I do see the overlap, and I do see two young ladies that came from different but difficult backgrounds, and y'all have made tremendous names for yourselves, and so I'm gonna hold out hope that one day.
Keep that hope alive, brother.
Yes, I will. And I'm gonna ask only the details, but was a potential fight with y'all, was that real?
I think that when I said that I'd be willing to fight for the right amount of money, I definitely got some phone calls.
Okay.
And if that money would have came about back then, not now.
Well, I'm hoping for peace, so I'm gonna leave that right there. What's next for Layla Ali? What can we be looking out for?
Okay, so I just wanted to provide you with that snippet of the interview that was absolutely great from Andre Ward, all the smoke fight. You know, and the Hall of Famer herself, you know what I'm saying, multi-time world champion Layla Ali. It was a great interview in my opinion. Just make sure you click the link that I put into the chat and check that out on your own. I just played the back end because it basically bleeds over to Carissa Shields' response. Okay, and this is what we about to get to. I gotta be fair. I gotta let you listen to Carissa Shields' response. How she break her silence on Ali. Ali, I for real, Ali has the control to the switch at Carissa Shields. Man, she can say anything, and and Carissa falls for the soiree. God damn it, I'm telling you, bro. You know what I'm saying? She has those antennas, man. She has that bandwidth. Man, information gets back to her quick. She has those individuals that's out here paying attention. There's no way that you're going to sit up here and drop information on Shields and no one informs her about it. But one thing I would say about Carissa and her response, she wanted to process it. All right? She wanted to process it. Let's get down to it. This is Carissa Shields' response to Layla Ali's, the little bits and pieces that she put out there.
This is my advice for Layla. Let me think this through.
See, that right there, Carissa, you don't know how much that means to me that you said, let me think this through. That means a lot because you are an impulsive individual. That means a lot to me. That means you're growing up, man. You understand the magnitude. You understand the weight of responding because this can go left very, very fast, either in your favor or the opposite. She said, let me think this through. I don't know if she was just trying to actually just really genuinely find the words to say in response to Ali. Or she was saying, let me not go over the top. Let me just make sure I think this through. I'm not going to be impulsive.
My advice, Layla, is you will look a lot better and people will stop calling you a hater and calling you jealous and old and bitter. If you actually stop hating, bro, you will look better if you was to support the black girl from Flint who made it out the trenches to where she at now. You will look a lot better. Whenever my name comes up, you have an uncomfortable feeling. You look uncomfortable. And the thing is, you bigging me up does not make your light shine less. It actually makes you shine brighter. So the fact that me and you not going to fight and you continue to, you can't come in my boxing because people seeing me knock girls the hell out now and seeing my skills and seeing.
Hold up, wait a minute. Come on, Shields. Just keep it on the comments, man. Let's not turn it over into something that has very little to do with the history between you and Ali, bro. Don't talk about knockouts, man. Come on, man. Come on. I mean, this ain't about knockouts at the end of the day. This is about you responding to the words that Layla Ali put out there to the public. That's all. Her response. And look, Shields, I said it. She was up there shadow boxing. She was throwing, she was punching you, rabbit punching behind the head. Yeah, she was sneak dissing a little bit. Absolutely.
Everything that I'm doing. So you can't say I can't box. Now you want to come from my character as if you ever been around me. You don't know who I have a bridge burnt with. You talking about some you clocking some teeth. If a boxer say you look like a damn dog, what you gonna say? I'm not one of the women you can just say anything to and do anything to. A girl from a low weight class call you out, what you gonna do? Like when they were saying that Ronda Rousey will knock you out. You made sure you cleared that up and said, you said Ronda Rousey cannot box and I would knock Ronda Rousey out, blah, blah, blah. So it's okay for you to talk your trash and for you to defend yourself. But then as soon as I do it, now, she burning all these bridges. I'm making $1 million paydays and I'm about to make more money now.
She touching M's, y'all? You trying to tell me she touching M's? Does anybody have the numbers I didn't know. I mean, I want to understand if it's any veracity in that. Is she making M's? I wasn't quite sure. Can anyone jump on the trolley? You know what I'm saying? If you're affluent, can you grab the chariot and put two stallions on the front and try to find out if that information is true in the streets? Please help me. Help me. I'm asking politely. She's making M's? How long has she been making M's? I ain't know that. Because I want to be able to report with updated news when I speak of Shields. I didn't know that her pay went up and she's making M's now. But one thing about where I see you just falling off the wagon too early there, Shields, is that you're talking about money. What did Crawford just say? Rich people, my people, they are always trying to compare who the Joneses is based off what your annual or your current salary is in this sport. You want to come up here and talk about money, money, money. Kudos to you. You should be making money. But a good friend of yours, Shakur Stevenson, say money ain't make him. It ain't all about the money. But you over here, you're saying what? You're making M's. When did Layla Ali, she talking about burning bridges. She ain't talking about making more money. And, you know, she's just saying, oh, I got a lot going on over here. Yes, to be worried about you young women. She didn't say anything about you making less money than what she made when she was fighting.
What bridge have I burnt? The bridge with you was not even genuine. Because if it was, when was you going to be the elder, the OG or whatever, to put whatever we had to the side and really give some genuine advice to help me catapult my career? You've never done that. But then you want to sit here and say all this stuff about me. She been retired 18 years.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just...
I'm not feeling the response so far. I'm not feeling it. Stand on topic.
I don't know when the last time she even been inside a boxing ring. I don't know.
You should have took a little bit more time before you responded to this feud.
And then for her to say, right, y'all, it doesn't make sense. Look, that's point blank period. Layla Ali is salty, and she jealous. That's it. And she likes when I give her this attention because it brings back her relevancy. Right? She told me I'm not gonna make it far. I made it further than her. I got a biopic. I'm making $1 million paydays. We got the same amount of followers on social media. We're being for real. And when you talk about how all this stuff started, bro, soon as I became super welterweight champion, when I became super middleweight champion, oh my God, now it's a problem because me and her fought the same weight class, and now everybody's comparing us. Now it's an issue. Now she don't like that, right? Jordan, can you give me a fork?
Where do you keep forks?
Maybe the dishwasher?
I just want to clear something up. You know what I'm saying? Let me spray this Windex over here right quick. Grab me a towel. Okay. I just want to, some you know what I'm saying? Just had some stuff splatter on the windshield as I was doing this live. But she said her and Layla Ali has the same amount of what? What did you say again? Let me go back a little bit.
Oh my God. Now it's a problem because me and her fought the same weight class, and now everybody's comparing us. Now it's an issue. Now she's on social media. That's it. And she likes when I give her this attention because it brings back her relevancy. Right? She told me I'm not going to make it far. I made it further than her. I got a biopic. I'm making $1 million paydays. We got the same amount of followers on social media. We're being for real. And when you talk about how all this stuff started, bro, soon as I became super welterweight champion, No. When I became super middleweight champion, oh my God. Now it's a problem because me and her fought the same weight class, and now everybody's comparing us. Now it's an issue. Now she don't like that, right? Jordan, can you give me a fork?
Where do you keep forks?
Maybe the dishwasher? Or next to the refrigerator in the cabinet? Listen, I'm not against none of that. I'm not against scoring with Lil Ali. I'm not against fighting her. Only thing I'm against is stop trying to paint me out in the media as if I'm a bad person and I've done something to you. Besides boxing, thank you.
Yeah.
Besides boxing talk, I haven't done nothing to you personally for you to talk about some burning the bridge and oh, she gets into it with everybody. No, I get into it with folks who feel like they can test me. Because I'm not one of them. So y'all grew up in an era where y'all had to let these men and people disrespect y'all.
There you go. You know, one thing that Layla Ali has said, that she get into it with women and men. I don't know what Shield's infatuation was. You should just keep it focused on Layla Ali and what she said, her words, and what you believe her intent was when she was saying that. Yeah, like I said before, you know, she said about burning bridges. But now you're talking about letting men do that. I don't know what that has to do with what she said about you burning bridges and you and her fighting and she offered you sparring. I'm just trying to see, like, how does the focus say you grew up around the area where y'all had, you know, let men do that? What is this, a shot at Muslim? Because she wasn't a Muslim. She wasn't a part of Islam. You know what I'm saying? She basically stood up and said, no, I'm not gonna do that. So I don't know where the men thing is at. Like, if your entire focus right now is to continue to convince a man that you're in control, if the relationship deals with that on a personal level, or I don't know, whatever. I don't know why she's infatuated with, you know what I'm saying, men understanding her authority. You know, men, we will assess the situation, period. Whether you are alpha or beta, they'll still assess the situation, you know, on what a woman is. Some men love a domineering woman to talk to them and treat them aggressively and always be in control of the environment and the vibe. And then you have alpha men who are used to controlling the room, whatever that see fit. And also letting the woman know that, yeah, they are alpha. They're not going to just be walked on. Doormat wasn't part of their DNA, goddammit. You know, I just wish she'll, you know, just stay on topic with Layla Ali. Just focus on what she said that pissed you off. Just give that to the public. You don't have to say, well, you grew up in an era where men, because I'm gonna tell you, my mom didn't take no shit from pops. I don't know. You trying to speak in a place that you wasn't back then, but I don't know where that's coming from, because a lot of them cats that wasn't born when there was no social media, they can't relate, yo. They can't relate what it was back then with no social media to be outside. They can't relate, yo.
I ain't letting shit slide. Period.
Maybe Layla Ali had a relationship that was considered, you know what I'm saying, she's trying to imply that it was abusive for her. What does that have to do with burning bridges? I'm serious, because that's a personal. I didn't hear Layla one time mention a personal relationship that you had going on. If Andre just did this freaking interview, then guess what? She probably knew about the situation with you, Remy Ma, Papoose, and all that. She didn't get messy like that. She kept it on what people are clearly understanding, that the history that you have, whenever they page that history and they start to say, okay, let me read a little bit more about what happened right here with Ali and Shields. It's nothing coming up about freaking personal relationship. But if you're trying to imply that you want to take an arrow and burn down the house that she may have potentially had a relationship, well, you know, you kind of showing your lack of control over how you handle situations. You're feeding into what she said about burning bridges, because you're gonna have to do business sooner or later throughout your 30s. Because you're not. I don't think you're gonna be fighting into your 40s. I just can't see it. But if you feel like you have to get back, like you have to, like the whole deal with the guy sparring, you have to go above and beyond. You had to go out to the car to try to prove a point. I mean, what are you getting at, bro? Just stay on topic, there, Shields. That's all I want you to do. Just stay on topic.
And I will put my hands on you.
What does she mean? That's why brothers be keeping, they be staying all the way back from you. What are you talking about? Put your hands on somebody, bro. Man, when I hear my people talk like this, it's just one of those situations. Like, why are you so impulsive, man? Why you always want to fight like nobody else can fight? These youngins this day and time, they're not talking about put your hands. They will put an index finger on the trigger and slow, steady squeeze. And if it has a switch on it, they just holding it to the rear. I don't get it. Anybody who's standing in an abusive relationship this day and times because they are the ones that selected to be in that position. Their name is not on the lease. They're probably outside of a job, or in between, or whatever the case, or just their whole entire mentality is that they're not the people to take charge. They need to be that there needs to be someone that's controlling them. And the reason why they're being controlled because they're too lazy and maybe an absolute bum in life to get themselves together. Or it may be something else. They may have disability, whatever the case may be. But is this a trivial that we was going to hear you say something about putting your hands on it? Layla Ali never mentioned no shit like that, bro. I mean, where are we at right now?
At TJ Maxx.
Man, you get confused, man. Listen to this shit. I'm waiting for this the advertisement to go.
Somebody said that I look too buff. Did you not see the girl I'm getting ready to fight? Boy, boo. It's all gonna pay off. Don't worry about it. All I keep saying in the comments saying she's jealous, she's jealous, she's jealous. She make herself look bad, man, when she do that. Real bad.
If you hear any of that she's eating while doing a live, which she has every right to, I didn't say about that. But just in case you're hearing some chewing and everything, it's just the fact that she's eating. Okay, that's not me. I don't want you to think I'm up here, goddamn, eating a bowl of chitlins with some Captain Crunch on the side.
This all started from when she went on there, I think on Sway, and said, I'm not talented enough. She can knock me out. She'll do this, she'll do that. She's way bigger than me, stronger than me. She said, I ain't got no skills.
I'm not gonna lie, Layla was going in when she went over there. I don't know if she had a Red Bull or 2 or 3, but she was in there, and that's when she was really with the noon chucks that day. She was with them chucks that day, boy. She was swinging and a hitting and a striking. I mean, that's the hardest I seen Layla Ali go in on Shields. You know what I'm saying? She tried to calm it down in this more recent interview with Andre. She did. She tried she did she kept it classy, but yet depending on how old you are and how detailed you are with being a listener, you would find you would listen to the fine little tidbits that she was taking shots. Yeah, she has been on record as saying that, she's a big girl. She mentioned that during the interview that she's 200 pounds. When she said, Carissa, when she was giving her advice, she made it a point for the public to know that she's the one that gave her some input as to what direction she should go with the Olympics, and it was no money out there yet. She told to the public, she said, hey, you can get down to a lower division, 54 and so forth, if you get a nutritionist and lose weight. I was my weight and I was lean. That's a shot. That's basically saying, yeah, you're a big girl because your diet, you haven't made enough money or got to that point where you can get a nutritionist to lose that weight. Layla Ali was collectively taking a whole lot of shots, bro.
Now that there blew me. She can say, oh, you're gonna knock out power, I'm gonna knock out whatever. She can say, I'm smaller than her. Okay, because she got big hands and big feet, and my feet not big and my hands not big. But for her to say, skill-wise, I'm not talented enough for her, was just pure hate, craziness. That's the fight Turkey Al-Sheikh should make. Me versus Layla Ali.
No, I disagree. I absolutely disagree. Because Layla Ali has been on record as saying that she need ample amount of time to get her business in order if she's to separate herself from her daily duties to go and fight you, Carissa. Turkey Al-Sheikh can't make that fight. Who wants to see that fight now? Turkey Al-Sheikh can't make that fight because Layla Ali is going to demand an incredible amount of money. And also, when it comes down to the amount of training, you have to pray to God that she can even make it through training camp without being injured. She's 200 freaking pounds right now. People, I'm just saying, she's 200 freaking pounds right now, right? So all you have to do is understand what the calculator will do. Where are you going to fight at 168? Let's subtract 168 from 200. That's 32 pounds. Not only that's 32 pounds, that's 32 pounds not knowing the level of conditioning that is going to be demanded from her. Who's going to be her trainer? Turkey can't make this fight. That's long gone. You might well put that in the bed. It's not happening. Layla is 47 years of age. This ain't no George Foreman moment, no Archie Moore moment, no B-Hop moment, no Manny Pacquiao moment. You know what I'm saying? No Vladimir Klitschko moment. No. No, she's all the business she got, she's gonna have to take damn near a year to get herself together, to get her coordination back. Even though she does hit the heavy bag, she says she's worked out, but she says she's 200 pounds. Of course, she's not 200 pounds even. I'm just giving you the 32 because she said 200 in the interview. She's thick, man. Layla probably sitting about 225 right now. She just didn't want to go and give you specifics because people be running with it. Turkey ain't making that fight.
But y'all know she wouldn't do that, right? I wore my little bitty gold chain, so I don't offend nobody today. I got the big gold chain upstairs.
Shields, all I'm telling you, if you don't have to get on the megaphone every time and let people know you trademarked it. You are that. It's a trademark. It's not something that's deemed as a title from Boxing Hall of Fame. That's not the case. You know what I'm saying? That is not a title or award that they give you as an all-time great. That's something that you coined. That's yours alone. Kudos to you. People know you as the greatest woman of all time due to it. It doesn't matter the size of a freaking hard piece of hardware, jewelry. It doesn't mean anything. But we just finished seeing Mike Tyson go in there with Jake Paul. And he was making all sorts of expression. Dude was damn near gnawing his glove off not to throw a certain punch. So I can't imagine what weight class she's going to agree to fight at, being that she have to lose all that weight. It can't be at 168 because it ain't going to be for no titles. So you going to have to put on more muscle than you got now to move up and fight her at a catch weight. And it's going to be a heavy catch weight too. It's going to be a heavy catch weight. And that fight right there, man, it needs, I can't imagine how many minutes per round it's going to be. Y'all might be fighting 50 seconds per round.
Since everybody be so offended. Offended because I'm pretty. Offended because I got a big booty. Offended because I got 15 world titles. Offended because I'm 3-time undisputed. Offended because I can box. What? Offended because I fight like a man but look like a woman. Offended, offended, offended. Offended because I'm young. Offended because I got $100,000 chain. But I left it upstairs. I'm only wearing like the little one. So y'all feel comfortable. Offended and jealous. Oh, offended because I was champion in 5 different weight classes. Oh, still is champion. Just offended by every little thing.
Well, it's not much I have to say about that because that just basically confirms, what we do as people. We always got to combine, and even on here, you know what I'm saying? Once upon a time, an individual, light-skinned individual, is that I think he was a brother. He went in my chat and told people in my chat that he makes more than everybody and stuff like that. It's not like I think about this shit. It's just in this day and time, with the mindset of these individuals, they quickly to tell you how much they make without even knowing any of your finances or what you got going on or what you ever participated in your life. I don't know what money has to do with it. I always say like this: if you really got money, retire then. Because a lot of these people that talk constantly about how much money they have, they cannot retire. They cannot just release it. Release themselves from their occupation, live for the rest of their lives, and sustain the same lifestyle you have currently.
And the thing is, I watch everything play out in real time. I watched how she supported other women over me. Right? I watched how she's talking about how I'm not skilled. But then give other girls props for being skilled. And I've been ranked pound for pound #1 in women's boxing for 4 or 5 years. I watch her get them their respect. But me, no. And try not to smack. No, I didn't pay $100K for this. Is you stupid?
Okay, so therefore, people, I have to move on because I don't. That wasn't my point to have you listen in on her. And she's eating and she's not saying anything. She said very little in response to Layla Ali in her interview with Andre Ward. I wasn't there trying to have you listen to her eat or just talking about how much her chain costs. I could have stopped it, but I just wanted to allow people to understand that in this day and time, these younger minds, they operate different. They operate different, bro. These younger minds, some of them, they really they refuse to provide you with an intelligent responses because they feel like it may make them look a certain way. They just refuse to be intellectually inclined and take the smart route on some of these responses like she did. She could have just kept it on what she heard Layla Ali speak about instead of just going off the off the common path of saying about how much your chain costs, how good you look. I mean, that wasn't what Layla was talking about, man. I just wish you just would have stuck on the topic, stayed on the topic, man, and chambered whatever rounds you had for her and just kept it on that type of energy. It turned childish real quick because chains and shit start going, a big butt start coming in there. I mean, what does that have to do with your legacy? Whatever your legacy is going to be when they put you in the Hall of Fame, your ass is not going to have anything to do with it. It's not going to have anything to do with it, yo. How you look, your beauty, it has nothing to do with you getting in the Hall of Fame. They're going to go off based off what? Your achievements. That what merits you to get into the Hall of Fame is not going to have nothing to do with all of your aesthetics and what you consider yourself to be every time you walk through the mirror and you have a one-on-one time and get glammed up. Hey, it's your body. You should be confident. But that's not what people are going to look at when it comes to the hall. When it comes to, whenever your name pops up and they grade you in conversation with several other women that's considered to be great. You just went off real quick. You know what I'm saying? Forget the sweet science. Forget what, she said about you burning bridges. Forget the entrepreneur. You pretty much proved her point to a little small factor. You burning bridges. You don't know what a bridge is right now. Seriously, I don't think Carissa knows what a bridge is. I don't know the level for which she was comprehending what Layla said. That kind of stood out to me because Layla understands what the entrepreneur side of the building is holding for her. She's building foundation and then she's building her brand. That's what she's trying to do. She moved from Cali to Georgia. I'm pretty sure she's saving some money down here because the cost of living is much different than Cali. Plus, there's a lot of, business and all these seminars, and it's a lot going down here in Black Hollywood. But the fact that Carissa could not participate and understand what burning bridges mean when it comes to how you treat people and what you say, how you conduct yourself, all the back and forth with men, trying to prove that you can whoop a man. It is some men out there that you can whoop. Yeah, for sure. For sure. But what does that have to do with making money? You're talking about something Layla Ali said that was on Sway in the Morning. That's so long ago. But that's all I have to say on her. That's all I have to say on you. I'm not going to take too much more time. Sir, seeing you on deck. I want to give a big shout out to MKB for the $2 super sticker in the building. I'm saying always thank you for your support, man, of the channel. No doubt. Much appreciated. She'll remind me of when my grandmother would say, always think before you blurt something out. That's why I think Rissa and Layla fell out because of hothead speaking from Risa mainly. I don't mind a person being a hothead. It's okay to have some type of built up energy and those defense mechanisms on guard, right? It's good to have your perimeter set up, no doubt. But when how you speak to other people who are attempting to treat you with respect, dignity. And it's always like when it comes down to it, I always say this as a human being, as a grown ass man. I always go into a situation with people I don't know, and my grading scale is to give them 100%. That's my range to say, okay, you deduct from there. Some people give you 0%, and they try to build you up to 100 based off what you do for them. You know what I'm saying? What are certain things you're doing for them to accept you? I start off with 100, but one thing I do also apply to that is, are these the type of individuals that if you can do 50 things good for them, but the one time that they don't like you or don't appreciate or disagree with something that you said or somebody told them, they so quick to say, I'm out, I'm gone. I look and see if someone's going to speak to you if they hear something about you. If they select not to speak to you and listen to somebody else that may feel some type of way about you, and they freaking shift gears on full judgment and try to run you over, then you don't need to be messing with them. Those are not stable individuals. Those people will try to tear down everything that you've built, especially on this YouTube Central, and they didn't even help you build it. They would try their best to destroy and defame who you are, and everything that you ever worked for. They'll try to tear that down with lies and anything that the people can latch on to make you look a certain way. But anyway, moving on. Sir Senior in the building, salute to you. The beef is Layla ego and not willing to communicate respectfully about her feelings get hurt. Hey, like I said, Layla was shadowboxing in that interview. She was taking shots at Shields. She was taking shots. But on the other hand, I was like hoping that she stay on topic and without talking about how she looks. Because if you're talking about, look, who provoked you? Layla wasn't talking about how she looked. The only thing she said pertaining to anything that deals with her physical composition is the fact that she weighed 200 pounds. She didn't talk about any of that. And when she mentioned 200 pounds, she was basically comparing it to what? Her getting back in the ring or what weight class they may fight at. That's all. Arnold in the building, what's good? WCS afternoon, salute to you and the hottest chat in the MF and game. A-Side official, I appreciate you, big dog. I appreciate you, man. Oh, we on the weight again? Shields can meet her at any weight at this point. Chill Layla just aside after Perkins fight. Yeah, you know, she say she 200 pounds and hey, you know, Layla was rabbit punching out there, bro. I ain't gonna lie, she was. WJ on deck, I see you. What's good, man? She is really hurt. How dare someone not think she's the best in the world no matter what? Yeah, Layla, man, it's no way that I don't care how she looked. I wouldn't even want to be around that to work my way up to an intimate situation if we was in a point of our lives where I was actually, you know, trying to think back then that she was attractive. No, too domineering. You know what I'm saying? I can understand behind closed doors. Look at that interview, how her husband was up there explaining some shit. Now, I got to stay on topic and hold myself accountable. I can't start talking about her personal life, and it has nothing to do with my point. But her personal life is what was in the interview. So I can talk briefly. You know, her husband was basically speaking about how his wife is. And at one time he looked at his wife when she was right there to the right while he was saying all those things. He was busy focused on Ward. He was making sure every word in cadence was left, right, and low, right, and left, right, left, right and low, right and left foot, right and low, right and left, right and lay up, left, right and low, right, plateau. You know, he wanted to make sure the cadence was on point. And then he got the okay from Layla when she tapped him on his shoulder. Hey, man, not me, shawty. Not me. What's up, Get Your TV in the building? What's good, man? Her fists are ready to go. Yeah, bro. What woman do you know coming there with big forearms? She be working out in the garden. I don't have nothing bad to say about a woman who has strength, that inner strength, that physical strength. You know what I'm saying? That should be a turn on for cats. You know what I'm saying? Like you see these Hispanic women out here working, man, they have them hips on her. They have them glutes. They walking. They strong. They willing to freaking do things that other women won't do. Layla is one of the ones that's outside of the normality. She got big forearms. She's working in the garden. You know, physically fit. Still look gorgeous to this day, at 47 years of age. You know what I'm saying? Hey, kudos to her. But you could tell her husband had to get it right, bro. He had to get that cadence right. If he was out of step one time, you know, if you really feeling your lady, like you really love feeling your lady and shit, you gonna look at her and so y'all can goddamn link up with the eyes, the pupils. When you up there explaining like it's a what we used to call a P&E, you know what I'm saying? All hands meeting. Shout out to Christopher White in the building, man. I see you. Salute WCS. Mrs. Ali, just like her daddy. Yeah, man. She's extremely. I can only imagine how dogmatic it gets when she's explaining something. She's one of those types like you need to be a better listener. And in so many words, when I'm talking, you not. Okay? When I'm talking, you not talking. That's how the order goes. Shit. Shout out to the OG, Mr. Golden in the building. What's good, man? She just started making them M's. Okay. Appreciate that. I was just wondering, man, when is she making the M's? I never heard no whispers about that shit, yo. When did she start making the M's, man? I didn't see her out in the hallway when Charlo pulled up. When Danny Jacobs pulled up on Charlo and said, "Hey, what are we doing? What are we doing?" I'm making M's. What are you doing? Get your weight up. What are we doing? We're going to keep on talking in the media? What are we doing? I'm making M's right now. Man, Ali would be at the hell, beat the hell out of her ass. Carissa couldn't have dealt with the fighters back then when Ali was fighting. I think Carissa would have had problems with Christy Martin, Ann Wolf. Layla. Them women, boxing was different back then anyway, bro. I hate using the era comparison because it's just so much of change, man. It's so much of change. It's just like handing some of these younger generation a rotary phone. You say, hey, make a phone call. You can have a landline hooked up and everything. It can ring and all that. Say, hey, call your friend up on this phone. I can't do that. It's not even push button. You can call. Believe me, you can call. Call one of your friends up on their mobile phone. It's connected and everything. It's connected physically to a landline. Call them up. They wouldn't know what to do, bro. They can't use no rotary phone. No. The youngest can't relate. Like I give some of the checks to what Layla was saying, but also I did identify that she was taking shots at Carissa. And then on Carissa's side, if you're going to defend, cool. But just understand that your big butt, your chain, good looks don't have anything to do with you and Layla. When you do that, it almost makes it seem like you consciously have to prove that looks has something to do with it. Layla is a beautiful woman, in my opinion. Now, her being domineering, I don't have to subtract or deduct points. I don't have to give her a prorated compliment because I think she's a very domineering woman. I don't have to do that because I don't look at her like that. She's married. I don't look at her like that. She's very well kept together. All that shit that a man would want. But usually when you get a woman that's holding down that position of authority that walks around with that type of aura, yeah, she's gonna be like Layla. She's gonna have some domineering factors about her. Real talk. She's gonna be in charge. God damn it. She's gonna embody everything that you say that a king should. She's gonna be the one on the throne. I have to move on. Real talk. I have to move on. Okay, hold on. Let me bring it up. So let me transition into my next topic. Okay. And this, my friends, is turning into a fire anthill, hornet's nest, all of that. Okay. Let's take a gander over here because this has just gotten a bit more weirder. Okay. Let's talk about the infamous Sebastian Fundora, whose name is out here in the media for all the wrong reasons. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. It's crazy. He goes from Spence to Joey Spencer to looking for an opponent. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. WBO rejects Joey Spencer. Fundora needs new opponent. The WBO has refused to sanction Joey Spencer as a potential challenger for WBC WBO junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora to defend against his next fight in March. Spencer rejected. It's not a shock that Spencer 19-1 11 knockouts isn't being sanctioned by the WBO organization as an opponent for Fundora, 21 victories, 1 defeat, and 1 draw, because he's not ranked in the top 15 by any of the 4 sanctioning bodies at 154. That leaves Fundora's management needing to pick one of the high-ranked contenders in WBO's ranking. Who could that be, you say? Okay, the options is this. Xander Zayas, Charles Conwell, Josh Kelly, and Jorge Garcia Perez. So out of those, I know Charles Conwell has been hanging out for a long time. I would definitely like to see Charles Conwell get his shot at Sebastian Fundora. I will. I mean, I do. I would like to see that. The article goes on to say Fundora hasn't fought since upsetting WBO junior middleweight champion Tim Tszyu on March 30th, 2024. It wouldn't be ideal for the Towering Inferno Fundora to take on Zayas or Conwell, who is coming off a long 1-year layoff. I mean, come on, bro. Conwell just stepped out the ring not too long ago, last year. A better choice would be Josh Kelly. He's a lighter puncher and pretty basic fighter, more of a British domestic level fighter than a true contender. He would be easy work for the 6'6" Fundora to dominate, beat up, and have a fun time whipping on him. I can't believe Kelly is ranked in the top 10. How on earth is this guy ranked in the top 3? He's more top 50 material, but he be perfect for Fundora right now. You notice how I love reading the Boxing News 24 because I say, hey, it's a teachable moment. This is one of the most biased platforms out there. And just for you to be able to decode through the BS, this is what it's all about, because it's a lot of fake clickbait media out here. But this provides you with individuals that's behind the scene that's clearly basing their own opinions about a fight. They just said in this article, they didn't want Sebastian Fundora to fight Conwell or Zayas, but rather a fighter that he can beat on. Come on now. It says Fundora, 27, had been negotiating to defend against Errol Spence for March, but the World Boxing Organization refused to sanction a fight this week. Their reasoning was Spence was coming off a 1.5-year layoff, a knockout loss to Terrence Crawford, unranked in the WBO's top 15, and had never fought in the weight class. Those were pretty good reasons. Fundora stalled. Fundora must fight soon, because he's been out of the ring for way too long, and he's messing up his career. Yeah, He's young enough for that kind of layoff not to hurt him like it would an older fighter, but his popularity is suffering. He failed to take advantage of his win over Zhu by returning to the ring soon after. How did he fail? They was busy trying to get him in there with Spence. What are you talking about? End quote. They tell me that the WBO refused to endorse Joey Spencer as a potential challenger to the current super welterweight champion, Sebastian Fundora, for next March. This week, negotiations to see Fundora against Spence officially fell apart. ESPN Knockout says Salvador Rodriguez on X. So just think about it this way. This has turned into a disaster with Fundora. This has turned into an absolute disaster. What kind of image do you have, man? I mean, we was just bragging about Fundora, being able to fight the distance with Tim Tszyu. And then, all the clapping and applauding that was going on, where Errol Spence fans was running amok, talking about, yeah, he's going to get Fundora next. He can't even get approved because he's not even in the top 15 ranked. I wonder did his fans think about this? I don't think they really gave it an opportunity, a fair opportunity to basically encapsulate all of the residual effects that July 29 T-Mobile massacre will have on him. This man's facing a knockout, lost all his titles from doing all the heavy lifting, and somehow, some way, somebody over there at PBC attempted to get him a fight. And that just goes to show you the dead space that's in between the communication process of the sanctioning bodies and freaking PBC. From my understanding, he was able to be ranked number 1 in WBC. But kudos to the sanctioning body not being on one accord. Why? Because you might pay them 3% sanctioning fees. But the WBO said just because the WBC sanctioned him, it doesn't have anything to do with us. Cleared him, rather. They cleared him. They approved him to be in the rankings. The WBO said, no, we're not approving that fight because he's not even in our ranking systems, and no, we're not putting him up there. He's coming off a loss. You know what I'm saying, how that works? You got to ask yourself, though, check this out. All the sanctioning bodies are not on the same sheet of music. Some sanctioning bodies, to include the WBC and the WBA, would definitely move up a fighter coming off a loss, i.e., Rolly Romero came off a knockout loss in the 6th round to Tank Davis and then immediately move up to 140 and was inserted in the championship spot. I'm just saying. The WBO said, no, we reject that. We reject it. And you know what? I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. I ain't mad at them. I'm not mad at it. They did what they were supposed to do, yo. I'm glad that it wasn't just a walk in the park, because I just get sick and tired of people thinking that it's easy. They just keep thinking it's easy, bro. They talk about blocking. That shit has not became so easy. Turning into a new era in boxing. Let's move on. It's time to move on past this. All right? I'm sure y'all heard about supposedly Teofimo Lopez fighting Jaron Ennis, right? Ryan Garcia, Haney 2, Turkey's tournament finale set for February and all this. I warn people all the time, be careful about taking for granted what's out here with this boxing media. The Ring magazine is live and live in color right now. Turkey Al-Sheikh is very, very active. Very, very active. But everything that he puts out there is a process, and people got to be patient before they release the news. everything isn't breaking news just because people want to piece it together. Information that broke that Jaron Ennis was fighting Teofimo Lopez next. But I'm hearing that they're trying to make a different fight with Teofimo Lopez and Richardson Hitchens. Did you see it? Let's go through this first, and then we're going to go through I'm not reading the whole article. It just said, Turki Al-Sheikh revealed tonight on X his plans, Plans, for a mini tournament involving Jaron Boots Ennis fighting Teofimo Lopez on Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney's 2 card in October in Riyadh. Listen, look at what we just seen. We're talking about Ennis fighting Teofimo Lopez on the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 2 card. You trying to tell me that Teo and Boots is going to be the co? They're not going to be the head? That's what you're trying to tell me? The winners of these 2 fights will face each other in February, and the losers will meet on the same card. Huh? What? How does this look? This means Jaron Ennis, he's in trouble. Oh, he's in absolute trouble if this is indeed sticking. For real. If this is sticking, Ennis is in trouble. The reason why I'm saying it reminds me of the WBC tournament that was allegedly supposed to happen at 135 pounds. That Devin Haney stayed over there, Teofimo and all those other guys, Ryan Garcia and shit like that, right? So therefore, the tournament crumbled. Teofimo was the only one that had good sense to go a different direction, redirect. The GPS said, okay, take this route. It's going to lead you to the IBF. You're going to have a title eliminator with Masayoshi Nakatani. After that, you're going to fight Richard Comey for the title. You beat Richard Comey, then you go there against Lomachenko. In order for that to happen, Lomachenko would have had to do petition for the franchise belt. It was all planned and coordinated. Now, we're looking at a mini tournament. This is not a mini tournament, nor does it benefit Jaron Ennis. It doesn't benefit him, bro, at all. Just look at these 2 equations. Who is the only champion out of these 4 names? I'll wait. Who is the champion? Is Devin Haney a champion in 147? This is supposed to be at 147, right? Is Ryan Garcia a champion? Is Teofimo Lopez a champion at 147? So somebody explain to me, why would Jaron Ennis be even considering, after he's made the declaration that he wants to unify at 147 pounds? How does it benefit Ennis? Let's keep it moving. Turki says he still needs to speak with Matchroom, Golden Boy Promotion, PBC to let them know his plans to use these fighters. That's why I tell these people, please stop jumping and being so up, just immediately just trying to run and say it's happening. It's tough for Teofimo to move up to 147 to take on what many fans believe is the king of the welterweight division, IBF champion Jaron Ennis. Likely fights in February, Jaron Ennis versus Ryan Garcia. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, losers consolation. They're trying to say, out of the 2 fights, right, Lopez beats Haney and Devin beats Garcia. That's what they're saying on here. Lopez punching power and so forth. I'm not reading that shit. This is Turki Al-Sheikh. It is easy fight. It is easy. Fight in May, then the big rematch in October. And in the same card, we would try Teofimo against Boots. Okay? Then the winner against the winner and loser against loser February need to discuss with our partners Top Rank and Matchroom and Golden Boy and PBC. Now, the wild part about this is how Turki Al-Sheikh is just putting out information before it's locked in with the promoters. For those of you that cover fights, one thing that I knew that was a routine for these fighters. What did they always say on TV, y'all? You remember. What did they say? If asked about your next fight, oh, stay tuned. I can't tell you right now. I can't tell you right now. I can't tell you right now. Big news, big news. I can't tell you right now though. Big news coming. Big news coming. I got big news coming. They always tell you big news coming, right? But now the Turkey Al-Sheikh has ignited the ring of fire. He just puts out information and then tells the audience, I need to discuss this with everybody that's involved. He's putting it out here, his intentions, and then say, yeah, I still got to get with them though. So it's not necessarily locked and in stone right quick. But I'm going to get back. I'm going to get back. Believe that. I'm going to get back though. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get back to it. How? Why don't you just wait? You know what I'm saying? Just wait. It's just information being floated out there and it's not even locked in yet. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the next one, Teofimo Lopez. Potential with Richardson Hitchens. All the spaghetti junction is going on out here in this media shit. Teofimo Lopez confirmed Richardson Hitchens fight negotiations. Why? Why? Don't you supposed to be in a tournament? They say the WBO 140-pound champion Teofimo Lopez say he's in negotiations to fight a unification match next against IBF champion welterweight, light welterweight champ, Richardson Hitchens. Okay. Teofimo would then move up to 147 and challenge IBF welterweight champion Jaron Ennis in October on the Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney card. If Lopez is victorious against Ennis, he'll face the Garcia-Haney 2 winner in February 2026 in Riyadh. Now check this out. What does that have to do with anything? Let's use our brains that God blessed us with. Why does he have to win? He's already taken a loss. If look, check. Help me understand all this spaghetti junction. What's your function? Check this out. Why is it hanging on the hinges of Teofimo beating Hitchens to get a fight in October versus Ennis? Somebody make that make sense. Can any one of you scholars in the chat help me understand? Let's make it credible comprehension. That's all I want, bro. 140 pounds for a unification bout. Why does Teo have to win that fight just to keep his title at 140 pounds, right? What does it have to do with him fighting Ennis in October if the fight's going to be at 147? It makes no sense, bro, because if he still can go out there and fight Ennis at 147. Hitchens is not moving up to fight Jaron Boots. He's not even in the equation for Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's not even in talks. So basically the information that's out there floating around is, oh, I have this mini tournament. So it includes Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Jaron Ennis, and Teofimo Lopez. So at this point, we're going to have this, and this, and this. But before that, we have Teofimo and Richardson Hitchens in unification at light welterweight. Teo needs to win to fight Ennis, and it's at 40 and not 47. So he could very much lose his title, move up just like he lost his titles at 135, move up to 47, and he'll be just fine because it's in a whole nother weight division. Or it's going to be a problem. I don't get it at all. I don't get it. It's not for me to get. Lopez is saying whether he has to win the Hitchens 19-07 unification fight as a condition for him to face Boots Ennis in October. Of course he's not. Of course he's not. However, it's likely that Turki Al-Sheikh will still allow Teofimo to face Ennis October, even if Richardson beats him, because he's okay with fighters backing into big fights off back of defeats. So this is what Turki Al-Sheikh is talking about. It's okay to take a loss. Well, that doesn't pertain to Teofimo Lopez because he's already lost to Kambosos. But I'm trying to understand this whole tournament thing. You're forcing.
Great, man, just having fun. Just finished watching some great fights here at the UFC Fight Pass and Tom Loeffler 360 promotion. So we gotta go down this way. But yeah, man, we're just having a good time, you know. So I look forward to a very productive year. We got a 3-fight deal that has yet to be disclosed, but we look forward to announcing it very soon to you guys.
Yeah, Turki mentioned you in a tweet that he hopes that you're gonna face Boots.
Yes.
And then the winner faces maybe the winner of Ryan and Devin.
That's what it's looking like, yeah. So we're looking forward to it. You know, it's all about the best fighting the best, and you know, listen, I think, yeah, man, we're here to be strong, like LA.
What do you make of that Boots fight? Like, how close are we to it?
The only thing now is just us winning our next fights. Yeah. That's it.
My fault about the audio. Somehow it dropped out. But peep this. What I was saying about, if y'all missed it, about this whole mix-up with this so-called tournament. You know, I appreciate that we potentially getting fights, but now you're seeing how it could be confusing to some of these people. and they're not gonna say anything. Yeah, I do hear the hate about Tank and got Roach moving up. Well, guess what? I'm about to lay that hot grease on y'all ass, because if y'all gonna sit up here and criticize Tank for fighting Roach, who's a champion at 130, you definitely need to go up there and criticize Turkey Al-Sheikh for making a fight that includes one champion who's been at 147 pounds the entire time, but all of a sudden it's a tournament being made and all 3/4 out of the fighters have no titles at 147 pounds, no titles, nor do they have any history of fighting and contending at 147 of recent. So Jaron Ennis, for some way, shape, or form, he had put it out there that he was going to unify. He was going to become undisputed. I guess Turkey Al-Sheikh totally washed that away, because his belt is going to be the first one on the line against who? A lower division guy from 140 who's a champion. But that champion, it doesn't mean if he loses to Hitchison that the fight is not going to happen with Boots. But here goes the dramatic part of it. People looking with Turkey Al-Sheikh with the budget. You know what I'm saying? He has the yolk to the egg. He has everything. So if Teofimo loses, it's not like they got to sell it for pay-per-view purposes. They're just going to say, oh, okay, he's going to still go in there with Jaron Ennis, and let's see how he works at 147. He hasn't made it to a point where he had 2 straight losses back-to-back. Because, look, this is what Turkey Al-Sheikh, the message that he's putting out to the public. Don't worry about getting losses. We have to get that out of our mindset. And this is a perfect example. He's setting up Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney too. Cool, I like it. But they're contending at 147. If I'm correct. Teofimo, coming off his fight, he may potentially step in there with Boots at 147. There's only one title. There's no other champions at 147 that's being contractually obligated to fight in this mini tourney. How does Boots, besides a paycheck, benefit from this damn little tournament they got? All because it's in Riyadh season? No Brian Norman Jr.? Any more of their Boots? No Stantionis? Or is Boots going to be able to fight Stantionis before? Let me do some check. Let me see if you know something going on with Boots Ennis, because you know with Jaron Ennis you got to do a research. He ain't out there like that. So let's see if BoxRec has him scheduled for Stantionis for a day. I appreciate it if they did. No, nothing scheduled with Stantionis just yet. He has to fight a fight. And let's just say this, right? Let's just say Boots Ennis fights Stantionis prior to stepping in there with Teofimo Lopez, just like Teo was fighting Richardson Hitchens. Okay? Let's just say that as an example. So you're trying to tell me Ennis, he picks up a second belt from Stantionis, and Teo, who may potentially come off a loss, I'm just giving you the worst case scenario. He moves up from coming off a loss, and he's able to go in there right like his boy Rolly at one point in time and gets to fight the unified champion at 147 coming off a loss. Boy, if that butter ain't on the bread, god damn, there's some fresh rolls straight out the oven. Ooh, that's gonna be fresh. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That shit is gonna be fresh. Do y'all understand what that scenario is looking like? If Teofimo Lopez beats Hitchens and they're unified, he moves up to 47. Okay? Let's just say Ennis is unified and Teo beats Ennis. Now, if we want to talk about goddamn miracles, if we want to talk about something that's dealing with the idolatry of boxing, now Teo would have elevated in the most significant part of his entire career. He would have redeemed himself if he was to go through this gauntlet and win that shit. If he was to be Hitchens, and then go beat Ennis, it ain't no stopping him right now, because he would have picked up 2 titles. He would now be on the pound for pound list again. His career would have hit a resurgency. Now his redemption code is active. Tio would have put behind all the shit that happened with him and Kambosos. Now he has bragging rights of beating Hitchens and then going up and beating Jaron Ennis. Now he goes back on the pound for pound list. Okay? That's the best case scenario for Tio. If Tio loses against Hitchens, goes up, and he fights Ennis, and he loses again, that bucket, I can't imagine how many tears going to be in that bitch. That bucket going to be overflowing with Tio's tears. From Honduras to Brooklyn, goddammit. He going to be crying his out. Like, that's a real bad scenario. But it comes down to the money. If Tio runs the gauntlet and becomes unified at 140, becomes unified at 147, he's in the driver's seat. He's in the driver's seat. He's on a whole nother level. If you understand what I'm saying. A level. He's on a whole nother level. But let me switch back over to Ennis. You don't feel like this is a huge task for you? Because Ennis, let's just say he beats Stanthionis, and Tio comes up and he has to defend his belts against Tio, right? That would be Tio's first opportunity to face a fighter at 147. Look, that's not anything abnormal, because Crawford did it. I just want to use Crawford. He did it twice, okay, of recent memory. So, but the reason why I'm mentioning it now for Jaron Ennis, because Ennis, like Errol Spence, said that his whole entire intent, his declaration that he made was to go up there and unify the 147-pound division. Now, why isn't Norman Jr. in the equation no more? I would have liked to see a Norman Jr. fight on the Riyadh season card if Boots would have defeated Stanthionis, became the IBF and the WBA welterweight world champion. I would have liked to see him and Brian Norman lock horns on the Riyadh card for all 3 titles. That, to me, would have been much more respectable than Teofimo Lopez moving up to 147 for the first time, a light body, as freaking Jabel Charlo called it, a light body moving up to face somebody as big as Ennis. This is definitely going to overflow with intrigue. Oh my God. I don't know how Ennis benefits from this shit. Tio is gonna, if he beats Ennis, he's gonna potentially vacate the titles. And then he will have to wait for the Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fight. If Ennis wins, he's going to be fighting 2 individuals that's their second fight at 147 pounds. If that is indeed the weight they're going to fight at when this shit happens at the end of the year. But Ennis needs to beat Stanthionis. And he still doesn't see daylight. He still don't see daylight. He has to beat Stanthionis. And then he has one of the lighter fighters to go in there and beat. You know, if him and Tio is the fight, it will look better for Tio to complement Jaron Ennis if he was to beat Hitchens and move up there as a unified 140-pound champion facing the unified welterweight champion. That will look great. If that's, Turkey Al Sheikh's crystal ball, that would look great. It will look awesome. It would absolutely level change for Teofimo's career if he runs the gauntlet and beat Hitchison and Jaron Ennis. Incredible. I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon though. I'm done with that. I will get on here and give him his plaudits if deserving, if he's able to pull this off. But I'm not jumping on the Tio bandwagon. if he's indeed go 2-0 on his next 2 fights. I'm just gonna say, well, there it goes. You know, Teal's back in the freaking driver's seat, and now I want to see who wins between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, Devin Haney can pull this off, and we can finally get the Teofimo Lopez Devin Haney fight that we were supposed to get at 135. But Devin Haney even put out there. This shit gets so freaking confusing, bro. Let me show you what Devin Haney put out here, okay? And I mentioned this on my live before. If you in here, hit the like button for me. I appreciate it. And do me that favor, man. I ain't begging you for super chats and shit. You know what I'm saying? I just say hit that button, man. Hit that button. Whatever button it is, just hit it, man. Look what Haney put out there. And when I brought this up the first time, I say, well, he's probably giving Tio a bit of his own medicine. Because Tio jerked him around at 135. And he didn't want to freaking fight Haney when he had the WBC title. But Tio say, inshallah, I can fight. You know, we'll see who finishes on top of boxing. Devin say, you would get it. Once I beat Ramirez and Ryan, you would be next. But you knew that already. You're just clout chasing. So Devin is pretty much have 2 fights lined up. If Devin is to fight Jose Ramirez, and then he fight Ryan Garcia, Tio would have to beat Jaron Ennis for this fight to even materialize, like I just mentioned. You understand? That's the only way that works. Because he beats Jose Ramirez, and then the Turkey Al-Sheikh has already put it out there that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia rematch. Okay? So, in order for Tio, regardless, I don't know, Turkey might make some changes, but regardless, for Teofimo Lopez, he has to beat Jaron Ennis. And that's a tall task for Tio. That's a tall task. So even though the Turkey Al-Sheikh cards is looking good for the projected fight bouts, these fighters got work to do. Ennis have to beat Stantionis if it's still on the docket, right? Devin Haney has to fight Jose Ramirez. Teofimo Lopez have to fight Richards and Hitchens. You know, it's a lot going on, people. But out of this whole equation, I feel bad for Jaron Ennis, whoever's making that decision, because you're fighting a guy who has nothing to do with you collecting the 3rd and the 4th belt. I think if you beat Stantionis, it would have been nice for you and Brian Norman to somehow, some way fight on the Riyadh card, not Teofimo Lopez. How did he jump the line to get a fight? Just because all of a sudden he's with Canelo? Probably. You know what I'm saying? But the fight people want to see is, you know, especially if Boots go up here and beat Stantionis and he's a unified champion, they want to see him continue to collect belts. We know if Errol Spence, you know, wouldn't have had the situation with Sean Porter, he would have definitely been in there a bit earlier to fight the champion at the WBA sanctioned body. He wouldn't have had to fight DSG and then fight Ugas. Shout out to being on deck. Appreciate that, Crit. Appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, man. Big Turk on the move, man. You know what I'm saying? Big Turk on the move. Shout out to Ben. What's good? Yeah, they got the oil, man. They got the oil. Well, what y'all think about that? That whole equation. You know what I'm saying? When you put them out on the spreadsheet, like how does that work out for 2025? That's a huge undertaking. You know what I'm saying? You have Tio who could potentially look. You have Teofimo Lopez who could potentially rekindle what he once had, but yet be even higher now. and still host even in just one loss. If he's able to keep that one, imagine now what Turkey Al-Sheikh said, fighters shouldn't even freaking worry about O's, right? If T.O. could keep his one, if he could keep his one, dog, and beat Hitchens and go up there and beat Ennis, man, he's at the top. Once again, he's on the pound-for-pound list, man, just outside top 5. Even though Ennis is not on the pound-for-pound list, he would have unified 2 freaking divisions. He would have became unified, brother. He would have unified 140 and then go up there and beat Ennis and became unified at 147. That will allow him his ticket to rejoin those fighters at the pound-for-pound list. Okay? Now, it gets even more interesting because we have the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney fight, which is a non-title fight. It'll be their first battle at 147 pounds. But whoever wins, Ennis will have to win again in a big fight. Now, the paycheck should be worthy, right? I don't know what's out there on the horizon for Ennis if he beats T.O. I don't know what's out there on the horizon if T.O. beats Ennis. Is it a rematch clause in there, or is it just going straight, no rematch clause? He fights the winner of Garcia Haney. And whoever fights the winner of Garcia Haney, is there a rematch clause in that? His name is Spencer after Crawford, but no pause on Arrow. Devin should fight B. Norman. That'd be a good one. B. Norman should be getting in the little scrimmage that they have going out there, Ben. You know what I'm saying? Turkey Al-Sheikh making all these names, but definitely Norman Jr. should be in the equation. For real, it'd be good if that tournament consisted of all the other names at the 147 pound. That will provide a clear path for whoever's the unified welterweight champion to fight those other champions. And a lot of people are wanting to see Norman fight freaking Boots Ennis, not Teofimo Lopez. Not Teofimo, not just yet. But I'm telling you, mark my word, yo. It's going to be some controversy. Mark my word. Mark my word, y'all. Jerron Ennis may get screwed over in that welterweight bout if Tio is the guy he's fighting. I'm telling you. They have plans for Teofimo now that he's over there with Eddie Reynoso. If he can get past this Richardson Hitchens fight, mark it down, January 18th. Jerron Ennis may potentially get screwed over and pick up his first loss because Teofimo Lopez is a bigger name than he is. And then they'll have Tio fight the winner of Garcia Haney. And then somehow, some way, Ennis might come back around at 47. Who knows? Look, isn't that what Turkey Al-Sheikh said? He said, don't be worrying about your O. So if Ennis gets rid of his O, could he still make a Norman Jr. and Ennis fight? Somehow to revisit a unification match with, if it's Teofimo Lopez, now that Ennis or Norman Jr., the winner of that fight, you know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be no different than what we just watched. If Tio loses to Hitchens, I think he still gets to fight with Ennis. It's so confusing to some people. But that's what they're trying to do over there in the sandbox, bro. Devin needs a mild test. He's going to 147. Well, you know, supposedly he's fighting. Haney's supposed to have a fight coming up. He's not waiting until October. He's supposed to have a fight coming up. He's supposed to be fighting Jose Ramirez like on the thumbnail. I don't know if you're looking at the thumbnail. He said Ramirez, Jose Ramirez. That's who he's fighting next. I've been on here too long, man. I've been over here 2 hours. If you come over here, you don't know how to stay on topic, man. And next time I go, look, next time, if it's during the day, I would damn drop the link. But I've been on here 2 hours, and truth be told, I ain't bullshitting. I'm about to get off. But hey, big shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Keep your eye on Big Turk. You know what I'm saying? He's over here making some scrambled eggs with spaghetti sauce, meatballs made out of freaking chitlins and goddamn ground pork. You know what I'm saying? He's cooking up some shit that's gonna have your stomach hurting. Look, he's already put it out to the people. I want them to know we're no longer protecting the old. I want them to know we're no longer protecting the old. So get ready. There's going to be some losses, both natural and unnatural. Turkey is telling you, man, I'm going to get rid of some O's in this bitch, and I'm going to mix it up. But y'all hold it down, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Continue to support. I'm out. Peace.